تسمية النائب الأستاذ فنان سلام.
Good afternoon and thank you for joining us on Future TV. I'm Linda Tamim and these are today's top stories. Former Prime Minister Saad Hariri condemns Hezbollah's fighting in Syria alongside the Syrian regime, warning it will drag Lebanon into strife. The parliamentary subcommittee held to discuss an electoral draft law fails to reach an agreement after a short meeting. And fierce clashes with Syrian rebels against troops and fighters loyal to Hezbollah in several villages near Qusayr. Former Prime Minister Saad Hariri has condemned Hezbollah's fighting in Syria alongside the Syrian regime, warning it will drag Lebanon towards the strife that President Bashar al-Assad has vowed to spread in the region. Salafist cleric Sheikh Salim al-Rafa'i says he has informed Interior Minister Marwan Sharbil of his readiness to withdraw his call for jihad if Hezbollah ended its involvement in Syria's civil war. This comes after al-Rafa'i and another Salafist cleric, Sheikh Ahmed al-Asir, called for jihad to defend Sunnis in Syria. Al-Asir announced the creation of the Free Resistance Brigades, urging whoever is capable of heading to Syria to help the oppressed in the town of Al-Qusayr, southeast of Homs. Asir called on all the Lebanese who fear attacks by Hezbollah in Lebanon to arm themselves and form 5-member secret cells to be ready to defend themselves and their families should the need arise. The meeting of the parliamentary subcommittee held to discuss an electoral law ended after a short meeting that resulted in a decision to suspend the committee's work. Following the meeting, head of the committee, MP Robert Ghanem, said that he finds no point for the committee to continue its work. Future Balk MP Ahmed Fatfat said the March 8 coalition parties were obstructing discussions to reach a consensual agreement on an electoral law. In turn, Resistance Bloc MP Ali Fayyad blamed the suspension of the subcommittee's meetings on the opponent coalition, and Progressive Socialist Party MP Akram Shaib said the discussions on the topic were back to point zero. Lebanese Forces Bloc MP Georges Adouane said his party decided to stop the work of the subcommittee because it has become a waste of time. The Parliament approved an extension of all election law-related deadlines to May 19th. Two Grad rockets fired from Syrian territories have exploded on the outskirts of Lebanon's Hermel, causing material damage only. The National News Agency says one of the rockets landed in Al Mali, damaging a building under construction. The second rocket wasn't located yet. Damascus said rebel fighters and weapons are crossing into Syria from Lebanon, while rebel forces accuse Hezbollah of intervening in the conflict by dispatching its fighters to battle alongside government troops. Lebanon's government has condemned successive incidents in which the conflict has spilled over the border, including alleged Syrian airstrikes inside Lebanese territory. General Prosecutor Judge Hatem Madi has requested lifting immunity of Al Mustaqbal MP Mu'ayn al-Marhabi a day after he opened fire at an internal security forces patrol in Tripoli. Madi submitted the request to Justice Minister Shakib Qurbawi, who in turn referred it to the parliament. Marhabi allegedly fired shots in the air to disperse the bumper-to-bumper traffic in Badawi region in Tripoli. Reports say the lawmaker arrived at the scene and demanded the ISF unit to remove the checkpoint causing traffic. The officers explained their intention to MP Marhabi, asking him to contact Interior Minister Marwan Sharbil and address the matter with him. The statement added that the MP started insulting the patrol and opened fire in the air. Fierce clashes have pitted Syrian rebels against troops and fighters loyal to Hezbollah in several villages near Qusayr on the border with Lebanon. A military source said the army expects to seize the town of Qusayr, a rebel stronghold, within days. He added the aim was to cleanse the region of terrorists, a term referring to the rebels, in order to guarantee the safe returns of residents who fled fighting in the area. The source said the rebels' fierce resistance to the onslaught will make the army's advance difficult. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights and the opposition say the army is backed by elite fighters from Hezbollah, a staunch backer of President Bashar al-Assad's regime. Hezbollah says those fighting are Lebanese party members who have lived in Syrian border villages for decades and are defending themselves against rebel attacks. 2 Syrian bishops who were carrying out humanitarian work in the northern province of Aleppo have been kidnapped. Sana news agency says the Syriac Orthodox and Greek Orthodox archbishops, Yohanna Ibrahim and Paul Yazji, were seized in the village of Kfar Dael. Officials of the opposition Syrian National Coalition said the man had been kidnapped on the road to Aleppo from the rebel-held Bab al-Hawa crossing with Turkey. Interim opposition chief George Sabra is working to secure the release of 2 bishops and a fresh wave of violence hit the country. Several Lebanese officials have condemned the kidnapping, including President Michel Sleiman. The European Union is set to lift its oil embargo on Syria to provide more economic support to the forces fighting to oust President Bashar al-Assad. The decision will allow for crude exports from rebel-held territory and the import of oil production technology. The decision marks the first relaxing of the EU sanctions in 2 years, as governments try to help ease shortages of vital supplies in areas held by Syria's opposition. Foreign ministers meeting in Luxembourg said they made the decision to help civilian population. Coming up next, NATO foreign ministers meet in Brussels for talks expected to focus on the conflict in Syria. That and more after the break.